Hi, it is Sunday, May 10th. Happy Mother's Day to all you lovely mums out there. We had an interesting week with regard to our lockdown. First off, the Coquitlam Wellness Center will be part of the next phase of reopenings. We are preparing for a possible May 19th reopening for chiropractic, physio, and RMT services. Now, we have put into place some very stringent protocols. Physical spacing and disinfecting is an absolute must. So the schedule will not be as wide open and available as it was pre-lockdown. Such is the case, I'd recommend booking an appointment as soon as you can if perhaps you've thrown out your back with an extra quarantine 15 pounds. It's not that bad, I'm sure. Now, the gym, on the other hand, will be opening a little later than the wellness center. Now, I've come up with an incredibly stringent set of protocols. As I've joked before, you're going to feel like you're in the military or prison when you come in for a session. So last week, Dr. Bonnie Henry indicated it would be later on that fitness facilities were open. And at the time, I was a little discouraged as we were kind of painted with the same broad stroke, such as a rec center or a global gym. Places that have limited supervision, perhaps questionable protocols, and an inability to properly enforce those protocols. So I know our protocols would shame anything I have seen out there, be it a Home Depot, a Walmart, or even the Coquitlam Crunch for that matter. So I took it upon myself to try and get my protocols into the hands of the decision makers to illustrate the differences in the measures that we would have in place and perhaps share those protocols with every micro gym, boutique fitness facility, or yoga studio in all of British Columbia. I spoke with 2 WorkSafe officers. They looked at the protocols, commended them, and then gave me feedback on how I could improve them. I got a hold of our Fraser Health officer for our region. Unfortunately, her office is stretched thin, and she didn't want to entertain the idea of looking at the protocols at this time. I sent them to our local MLA's office. I sent them to our local MP's office. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to send them to the Chief Medical Officer for Fraser Health. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not doing this to try and rush a reopening. Once again, I do not pretend to know more than our health authorities. These protocols and guidelines that we've come up with were established and developed out of an abundance of caution for everyone, with safety being paramount. Again, I'm just trying to clearly illustrate the differences between a highly supervised, strictly regulated service such as our own compared to a larger fitness facility that won't have the same attention to detail. I've included a link in the description of this video to the very same protocols I sent to our governing bodies. Now, as always, I welcome any feedback or suggestions to enhance these guidelines. Now, there will be an additional set of protocols that are more specific to you, and I'll release those in the very near future. But let me just take a minute and I'll show you what to expect. In the gym, I've set up a workspace of 18 squares. Each square measures 10 feet by 12 feet. The center of each square is just over 5 meters or 16 feet. Just take a look here. Here's the center of square number 2. And we'll scroll on over to square number 1. And hopefully you can see it right here. That's the 5-meter mark. The distance between this square and the square over there exceeds 5 meters. Now, there will only be 9 people allowed in this whole workspace for any given session. The occupation of these squares will be staggered so that at no time will anyone have a direct neighbor. I've put pylons in the squares to help illustrate what the floor might look like during a typical session. So this one's occupied, this one's occupied, this one's empty, that one's occupied, this one's empty, this one's obviously occupied, that one's empty, and so on and so forth. When you arrive, you head straight to your reserved square. In your square will be all the equipment you will require for the day's WOD. The equipment will range from the RX workout to scaled and then everything in between so that you won't have to wander the room or leave your square to exchange or gather gear. Now, the example I set up in this square for today's WOD is 3 rounds of 25 calories on the bike, 12 deadlifts at 135 pounds, and 21 box jumps. At the conclusion of the WOD, you'll move your gear just a couple of feet into the neighboring square. The equipment will be wiped down with an improved disinfectant. Then you'll be on your way. The attending coach will then move in and spray down the square you were just in with an approved disinfecting solution. There will be 30 minutes between sessions, so that gives us plenty of time to keep people moving, distance, and the equipment cleaned and the floor dried off. Those are just a few of the protocols you can expect when we get the opportunity to reopen. Once again, I direct you to the link in the description of this video for more details. Myself and the coaches are very excited to resume operations. When we get the green light from the health authority, you'll be the first to know. In the meantime, keep safe, stay healthy, and keep up your fitness and healthy habits. I can't wait to see you again.
All right, so I just finished editing the first part of this video, and when I introduced the workout, I think I left you hanging there. I didn't give any demos. You didn't get to see what it looked like. So here we go. I'll do one round of 25 calories on the bike, 12 deadlifts, there's 135 pounds, and 21 box jumps. Got the clock here. You guys probably haven't heard the 3, 2, 1 in a while, so here we go. Clicker still is puzzling to me. Here we go, 10 seconds. 2, 1. Oh boy, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Had to switch to box steps. Legs turned to lead. Man, can't wait to have you guys back in here and experience this again. Miss you a bunch. See you soon.